is In the Know for Thursday, November 17th, the 321st day of 2022. There are 44 days left in the year. Good morning, MB. Guiding you through In the Know at K105 on Litchfield's Country Station, 103.9 The Moose. Live online at K105.com via the Apple and Android smartphone app using the SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify podcast, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and the hashtag is In the Know. Coming up today, we'll update you on the latest news headlines from around the community, the county, the Commonwealth, and the country. Going to have a conversation with our friends from ECTC Litchfield as the semester is drawing nigh. And we'll also have Thankful Giving Day number 17. That and a whole lot more coming up today here on In the Know. Settling into my left, rolling Mach 9 with her hair on fire, is my beautiful wife, the beautiful girl. It's Speech. Good morning, sweetheart.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
In your Friends Yeti there, I'll just call it a Friends Yeti. I know it's not really a Yeti, but it's something to keep your hot drink hot or your cold drink cold.
Yes.
And you have, I see the tea bag is outside. You drink a lot of tea, yes?
I do.
Is that green tea? What color tea is that? Does it have a color? You know, some you have green tea or
it's a Yogi Positive Energy. I think it may have like a tangerine. I don't know.
Okay. Well, this says start drinking black tea because you'll live longer. A study that collected data from nearly 500,000 people over 14 years found that people who drank 2 or more cups of black tea daily had a significantly lower risk of dying.
I used to drink black tea all the time.
I mean, we're all going to die eventually anyway,
Yes,
but I guess that just means it's been delayed a little bit.
When I stumbled upon, I did the Blueberry Slim first, and then now I'm on the Positive Energy.
Do you like the energy? I can tell you're just a dynamo, a ball of fire this morning, thanks to all that boost of energy tea that you've got. He is the 5-time winner of the coveted Ohio Newshawk Award. He's a 2-time Silver Sound nominee, covering every corner of the globe: London, Budapest, Rio, Tokyo, and even Doha. He's Sam Gormley and the Sports. Morning, Sam.
Morning, Ralph.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. When you get a chance, the new mascots for the Olympics, the 2024 Paris Olympics, are out. Mm-hmm. They're these weird triangular-looking hats,
kind of similar to Big Red.
I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, they're kind of weird. But anyway, that's what they've done. Is they have ranked the Olympic mascots top to bottom. I think you might enjoy that. That's some homework for you to do, Samuel. Part of being an adult, and you'll notice that I didn't use the word that you don't like, that has the ing on the end of the word adult.
Makes me cringe.
You don't like that word. But part of being an adult is doing the things that you have to do in order to get to do the things that you want to do. Right? You don't, as an adult, you don't get to go through life only doing the things that you enjoy. You also have to do some things that sometimes might test your comfort zone just a little bit.
I can see that.
Fair enough. Okay, so you're going to get to put your adult ability on display this morning.
Nope.
Because we're going to go ahead and do Thankful Giving Day.
There's lines that I won't cross.
We're going to go ahead and
one of you all can get 2.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm sorry, my box can only have 26 Thankful Givings instead of 27 because I refuse.
Thankful Giving Day number 17 is here.
Why would we do that to the poor people?
Sam, he is participating under protest.
You are not the only person in the universe, Sam.
He's here are diced tomatoes. Ugh. Sam finds the Mickey.
I'm not even going to make him touch his.
No, it's staying over there. It's already close enough.
I like them.
It's disgusting.
And so this is Dana. Can I see the graphic on what today is?
Yeah, I know, right?
Somebody used the word that Sam doesn't like. By the way, while we're getting to the list of today, I did hear from the Colonel last evening.
Oh.
And the Colonel she's been busy this week, and so she's been time shifting the show, so she's been enjoying podcast when she can catch up. So it's one reason we couldn't get a lot. You know how is on the NFL, is it Cessator? They have a rules official.
Pereira.
Mike Pereira, he's on Fox.
Yeah, he's
right.
one, and then you have Dean Blandino on Fox as well.
Okay, so you've got these rules officials.
And Gene Steratore is probably who you're thinking
and
of.
that's what I was needing. I was needing a real-time ruling per the rule book to see if we had violated the code. And the colonel reached out last night to say substitutions completely okay.
And I knew that.
Well, look at this.
So
we can substitute something else for today.
So something instead of diced tomatoes. But today, diced tomatoes, and we're going to put those in.
I'd rather put lima beans in there, and I don't even like those.
Sam, just readjust your horizon to tomorrow. Day number 18 will be bagged soup starter. You can just start to focus on that.
Well, that's
so
much
you don't
better.
have to worry about with those yucky diced tomatoes that are so revolting to you. But thanks to the colonel for giving us the all clear on the fact that we got some fettuccine noodles in our boxes instead of spaghetti noodles.
Did she not say it had to be Alfredo, though?
She did not say that. She is just grateful for the participation, whatever it is that we decide to put in there. And I thought that was very gracious of her, that she's just appreciative of the benevolence. She's not going to look the proverbial gift fettuccine in the mouth. Chilly through the weekend. We're going to be seeing some weekend lows in the teens. We're going to see mild weather toward Thanksgiving. The weekend's going to be chilly. Highs are going to climb into the 30s with lows in the teens. Next week looks warmer. And we'll keep an eye on rain chances toward Thanksgiving. Right now, looks like a 4 in 10 chance of rain on Thanksgiving. But the highs for most of the week next week are in the 50s, or at least the middle part of the week that's maybe most important to you. But mostly cloudy, 39 today, partly cloudy, 28 tonight. We'll see a cold day tomorrow with a high of only 34 before the temperature falls off into about maybe 20 tomorrow night. The Republican Party did snare enough House seats yesterday to secure the 218 necessary to technically control the House. But, with your margins that slim, then you end up, well, let me use this example. Even though the Democrats have had control of the Senate for the last 2 years, their margin is so razor thin. Joe Manchin from West Virginia has been a swing vote on a lot of things that he caucuses with the Democratic Party, but there are some issues because West Virginia is a more conservative state that he can kind of go back and forth and swing that power. Well, same thing is potentially going to happen in the House, because even if they may get 220, 223, but there are enough House members that they may line up with the GOP, but on particular issues, they may side with the other side. So it's not just a simple, we can do what we want. And then even if they do attempt to do what they want, then the control is still going to be over in the Senate, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But already this morning, I've seen James Comer all over my television talking about their investigations into Hunter Biden, which they've been promising for a couple of years if they ever get in power. So I guess he'll be chairing Ways and Means, figuring all that out. Now, over in the Senate, they did have an election yesterday, and McConnell did withstand a challenge from Rick Scott from down in Florida. I don't think that McConnell's leadership was ever really in question, but I think that exercise yesterday was helpful to sort of get a glimpse for what may be happening with Senate Republican leadership beyond McConnell, because he has way more days behind him than he has ahead of him. Many of us do, but especially in his case with his long service. So I think that it really was never a real race for who was number one. I think it was a race for who's number two in the Senate when we get to that chapter change. So you say, the Warnock-Herschel-Walker runoff in Georgia doesn't make any difference. Well, because the one seat makes a big difference on the way the vote goes. Even if you get Walker in, the Democrats are still going to be able to break a tie with the vice president's vote. But all then you have to have is one Joe Manchin, or you just have to have one more conservative senator who might be on the other side. So it will be interesting to see how that all plays out in the coming days. But at least for now, you got McCarthy and you got McConnell, so it looks very similar to what it did a couple of years ago. A Litchfield woman has been killed in a car accident in Hardin County. The Elizabethtown Police Department responded to the accident Tuesday night on Ring Road near Kitty Hawk Drive. I would presume that is around the airport area.
It is. I looked it up last night.
I'm through there. I'm through there a lot. Kitty Hawk says to me airport, so I know that area.
It's like the first road right when you pass the airport.
Okay. The 28-year-old Destiny Shelton was traveling west on Ring Road in a Ford Focus, and the vehicle entered the eastbound lanes and struck a 98 Chevy SUV head-on. She was pronounced deceased at the scene. An unidentified male passenger in the Ford and driver of the SUV were transported to University of Louisville Hospital with serious injuries. A Clarkson woman has been jailed after being accused of driving while high on drugs with 2 infants in the vehicle. This happened Sunday night. Clarkson police observed a Mazda with faulty equipment traveling on Millerstown Road. They conducted a traffic stop on the Parkway on-ramp. 43-year-old Christy Beasley was the driver of the vehicle, and Officer Jordan Jones detected the odor of marijuana. Beasley telling Jones that she had recently smoked marijuana. Also observed 2 infants in the vehicle, younger than 2. She did say that she had more drugs on her person. They found those. So multiple law enforcement officers. I did notice that according to the arrest citation, it said during testing that Beasley said she was Lady Liberty, a soldier in God's Army, a veteran named Juliet, and other names. That stood out to me. I was like, okay. She was arrested and charged based upon that information. So, I don't know. In Kentucky, the Senate leadership is going to remain unchanged for 2 more years in the same way they were having elections in Washington. They were having elections in Frankfort in the last few days to figure out their leadership, and basically it will remain the same. Bob Stivers of Manchester will be Senate president, and David Givens of Greensburg is president pro tem. Floor leaders Damon Thayer, Julie Rocky Adams is majority caucus chair. Mike Wilson of Bowling Green is the majority whip. So he's not going to see. It's going to look very similar to what it looked like last year. Well, thank you, Carolyn. I appreciate it. You know, the name Carolyn is in one of my favorite Jeff Foxworthy jokes, where he says, you know, when the person gets on the television, he said, I saw that tornado come over the hill, and all I could think was Carolyn still has my casserole dish.
I love that.
So, yeah, it's like, that's what I think of when I grew up next to a Carolyn, by the way. Some Republican lawmakers are pushing back after Governor Beshear signed an executive order on Tuesday, letting Kentuckians with certain severe medical conditions and who meet certain requirements to possess and use small counts of legally purchased medical cannabis. The governor was asked during that conference what his legal authority to act was, and he cited and said the executive order is based on the constitutional pardon power of the governor. It would take a constitutional amendment to alter or change that authority. So in the wake of that, over the trailing 24 hours, there have been some legislators that have been, pushing back, going, no, wait a minute. Even Jason Nemes, who is for medical marijuana, he is saying, I'm for it, but you can't usurp the legislature and just do what you want. And
I think at the other side, you would say, well, then what are we waiting on?
Yes.
It's saying if you're so for it, then pass it.
You didn't
I know, I'm not.
You didn't let me finish.
Well, yeah, no, I'm just sick of hearing those excuses.
So
from both sides.
Governor Beshear is signing the order, and it sounds a little more defined than maybe it was originally reported, like small amounts and certain medical conditions, that it's not a blanket, just go get yourself a card and you're golden type of thing. But what it does do is it sets up the optics of this. The governor signs the executive order to allow it, and then forces the big bad mean legislature to come take it away if they indeed want to undo. And so it is a very unique intersection of an issue that I think the majority of people in the Commonwealth are okay with in this form. limited conditions, small amounts, etc. I think the practical part of us would all go, all right, if a physician says it's okay and it's needed, we're good with that. But if you can, what I would like to be able to do, and it's nearly impossible to do, is separate the issue from, though, we still have executive order concerns. Like it or don't, our Constitution is built on checks and balances. So if you think of it this way, if the governor is saying, well, I have the power to pardon, so as a result, I'm just going to pre-pardon everyone who does this in case they get prosecuted, well, some other governor could come along later and go, well, the precedent was that governor could pardon. So what if this governor fancies pardoning other things? Or then all of a sudden we're in areas where we go, well, don't be pardoning that. And so this is where he's put them in a position where they have to act, which was his goal. But I still have executive order concerns federally and at the state level that we're going to have to sort out, because eventually you'll end up with a governor who is on the opposite side of the coin, who takes that ball and takes it further down the field, and you go, wait a minute, that's not what was intended. So I think we should figure that out sooner rather than later. But for now, we'll see how it works out for Kentuckians, and especially those who are just looking for help on, chronic illnesses that physicians say this would be a good remedy for. A man who killed 6 in a Christmas parade got life and no potential release. That's that Darrell Brooks case, goes back to the Christmas parade in Milwaukee. That was a weird trial anyway. He represented himself. And what was the Twain? Was it Twain I gave that credit to that said it?
I think so.
The client who represents himself has a fool for... No, the attorney who represents himself has a fool for a client. I think that's how the adage goes. And then seeing a witness was reporting that this University of Virginia shooting that happened on Sunday, the details are emerging that during the suspect's first court appearance, the same day that students returned to classes, I believe it was yesterday, the witness is now reporting that he was strategic in the people that he shot, including one of them who was asleep. So he had a strategic, it was you, and you, rather than I'm just going to shoot people broadly. And so we'll learn, again, more coming up on why that was. But continued tragedy. Sam, did you hear, are they going to play football in 2 weeks? I know they're not playing football this weekend.
They haven't announced anything yet. I have no idea.
I think they, like a lot of people, their rivalry game is last. Like I think they've got Virginia Tech.
Correct.
So it's, hard to celebrate a rivalry like that. Virginia Tech certainly knows they know what it's like to live through tragedy. So just a terrible situation for the Commonwealth of Virginia all the way around. Going to get to a break. Barry Williams from ECTC Litchfield campus is here. Lots of exciting things happening on the campus, and we're going to tell you all about them coming up here on In the Know.
If you're a woman over 40, have you had your annual mammogram? Whether you're a mother, wife, sister, mentor, or friend, you're important to so many in your life. At Owensboro Health, we want to help you live a healthy life with the ones you love. Having an annual screening mammogram is one way to take good care of yourself, because you're worth it. Schedule your screening mammogram online at owensborohealth.org/mammogram.
Attention propane customers, has your existing provider been hard to reach? Have you had questions that haven't been answered, or experienced long wait times, or been asked to reply and send emails for customer support? Don't waste any more of your time. Southern States Co-op in Bowling Green will take your call. They will even swap out your existing tank to theirs at no charge. Southern States Bowling Green Co-op is ready to serve all your propane needs in Bowling Green and surrounding counties, because empty is never an option.
Mornings just got doubly delicious at McDonald's with 2 is always better than 1 deal. Right now, get a sausage McMuffin with egg or other breakfast faves. Buy 1, get 1 for $1. Get your choice of a sausage McMuffin with egg, sausage McMuffin, sausage biscuit, sausage McGriddles, or hash browns. Buy 1, get 1 for $1 only at McDonald's. Prices and participation may vary. Valid for product of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
There's no place like home.
At Beehive Homes of Litchfield, we know how to take good care of people, and it shows in the details. With our showcase kitchen, home-cooked meals, engaging social activities, and outstanding wellness care, Beehive Homes offers the next best place to home. It's more than just a lovely place to live. It's a warm, caring, vibrant community.
There's no place like home.
Beehive Homes of Litchfield. See our home today.
Hi, I'm Janine Lucas with Wilson Muir Bank. Our focus is on building communities, and in many of our markets, agriculture is at heart of those communities. We are proud to partner with local farmers and value your role in Kentucky and globally. Our commitment runs deep because we understand your passion for farming. Many of us are farmers ourselves. Whether farming is your pastime or your livelihood, invite us to your operation or stop by our offices and let us know how Wilson Muir Bank can help you grow. Together we build community. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 403246.
Twitter's new owner, Elon Musk, is telling his employees they can receive stock and options even though the company is now private. It is part of what Musk called an ongoing compensation plan. Musk added that exceptional amounts of shares will be granted for exceptional performance. And a class action lawsuit has been filed against cryptocurrency platform FTX, which also names several celebrities.
There's celebrities that made a lot of money and promoted this product. Unless you tell people you're getting paid and how much you're getting paid and what your incentive is, you can be liable.
Lawyer Adam Moskowitz says the celebrities are on the hook for promoting the platform that allegedly violated Florida law, misled customers, and cost investors billions in damages. Some of the big names include Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady, Golden State Warriors guard Steph Curry, and Larry David of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Last week, FTX filed for bankruptcy. Their CEO stepped down. They're under investigation by the Department of Justice and the Securities and Exchange Commission. Tech Report.
Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing.
Today is Homemade Bread Day. It is also Great American Smokeout Day today. Not too late to pick that up today. Just run it 24 hours from now if you want to. It's Take a Hike Day, and it's also Unfriend Day today. It's also the day we say good morning and welcome back to Barry Williams from ECTC Litchfield campus. Good morning. Welcome back.
Hey, good morning. Thanks for having me. Homemade Bread Day.
Homemade Bread Day. Last time you were here, you told us you had a house full of girls.
I do.
Do they ever declare it Unfriend Day from one another?
I think every day is Unfriend Day in my household. There's always some sort of catastrophe that we have to resolve or conflict we have to intervene in, and it's usually over the silliest of things.
If you can mediate your household disagreements, you probably, like, your professional life is probably a cakewalk. You know, you learn at home, you say, well, I can use these skills when I go out into life.
Oh, absolutely. There are days where I'm like, I've been teaching communication courses for 13 years. I have a degree in this, and I some days I feel like I don't know what in the world I'm doing when it comes to the kids.
Well, that's just parenting in general, I think.
It is.
It's been 3 or 4 months ago, maybe even 5 months ago, I was having a conversation with Cindy, and I think Bobby was part of that conversation too. And it came right on the heels after the summer announcement for the new funding that had been earmarked out of the legislature, which was then starting to ripple through the community to where it became obvious that an expansion of the ECTC Litchfield campus was not just a dream or a vision, it was going to become reality. And any type of expansion like that requires certain phases and certain chapters, and we've entered a new phase of that, and it's kind of the community input aspect of the expansion. Let me ask you first, is there a general sense of excitement on the campus about some of the neat things that are coming in the future?
Yes, there are, and so now we're in that part of this process where it's like we know that the funding is going to be available, and so you get into the planning phase. So when we're looking for community input, you can come by. I mean, you could talk to anybody within the classroom. So if you're an ECTC student at Litchfield, you can have that conversation with me, Cindy, Bobby, any of the faculty, so that we can get that up through the appropriate channels. I'm sure there will be some more emails and communication sent out to our students. But this will include everything from upgrading the existing facility, which, it still feels new to me, but then I'm like, oh, wow, it's been there 10 years now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anybody's like, well, you have a campus there? It's like, yeah, it's been there for a decade. It's so, there's some upgrades that will be happening there, and then also some new construction. So there'll be some new facilities that'll be built there. So a lot of buzz, a lot of exciting things happening here. And, there's a lot of communities that do not have access to community college education. They have to commute, 30 minutes to an hour away. Mm-hmm. And so it's really a blessing and a benefit to this community to have that campus there. And I hope people will be sure to take advantage of it.
Until 10 years ago, we were one of those communities that had to travel 30 minutes up. We were blessed to have a 4-lane highway that could get us there quickly. But by being able to move a structure to our community, it's made it so much more accessible and practical, and really been a blessing for our community. And over there at the campus, you're, I guess, about maybe 3 weeks from the end of the semester. I think December 11 or so is maybe the end. Kind of what's next? What happens at the end of the semester? What does that period between the end of one semester and the beginning of the next, kind of what happens?
Well, it ends up becoming somewhat of a mad dash, and having done this as long as I have, you'd think I would be better prepared, but it always seems to sneak up on me too. But there's a lot of things that are going on. Next week, of course, is one of my favorite holidays on earth. It's Thanksgiving, and we start off the Thanksgiving week at ECTC Litchfield with our multicultural fair. So there will be a lot of buzz around the campus today and tomorrow as folks are setting up their tables. We're going to have 2 school groups coming on Monday and Tuesday, bringing in some elementary school students to tour the place. I'm going to be doing a karate demonstration, so got into the gym this week thinking, you know what, they say you once you learn how to ride a bike, you just have to get right back on. Unfortunately, karate is not like riding a bike. So
there's atrophy involved.
There is, and there's things the mind remembers the body being able to do that the body's like, you haven't exactly been investing the appropriate amount of time in us right now. So there's that, and then of course there is registration for spring and for spring classes, and an opportunity for our current students. So if you're a current student listening to this broadcast, if you advance register by November the 30th, you will be entered into a drawing. We're going to have up to 10 winners for a $500 gift card.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's all across ECTC. So that's the Springfield campus, the Litchfield campus, main campus, Fort Campbell, Meade County. All those are going to be entered into that pot, I think. So if you're a current student and you've been putting off getting registered, if you can get that done by the 30th, you will be entered into that drawing. So there's a great opportunity.
And what's the gain there? Obviously, the incentive is to do it early. I would presume that just releases or takes some of the heavy lifting and the load off of your human resources assets that have to help through that process. So there's an incentive to go ahead and get it taken care of, make it easier on the system, I would assume.
Exactly. Scheduling can be really tricky. You're trying to offer classes students need at times when they're available, and now there's this whole dual credit model that comes into play as well. But the best bet to ensure that a class you need will make and actually be offered when push comes to shove is to make sure you register and you've booked the seat. Mm-hmm. For one, it ensures a class will make, and then 2, it ensures you get into a class that might fill up on you. That happens quite often. I mean, every year it seems I'm getting an email regarding caps and, somebody wants to get in, but your class is already at cap. What do we do? So if you want to make sure you get the classes you want at the times you need them, it is in your best interest to pre-register. And now you have a chance to win something, and it doesn't cost you anything because you're going to register anyway.
The early bird gets the proverbial worm and maybe $500.
Yes, and a decent little gift card. So we're just happy that money's been made available and that the college is willing to invest in the students enough to make put that there for them.
Another reason that it's in your best interest, you heard me say a minute ago, I just using round numbers, about 3 weeks from the end of the semester. But more importantly, 4 weeks from the campus closing for the holiday break, which I know, online school and websites and things, that they never close. You can do those in the proverbial off season. But once you get past that December 16th threshold, you are really kind of swimming upstream to get things lined out for the resumption of education, which I think the semester starts somewhere around, I think it starts exactly on January the 9th. But that period between the 16th and when campus reopens that first week of January, it's just hard to get anything accomplished, I would imagine.
Right. It'll be a ghost town. There won't be anyone there, as we'll close for the holidays, and staff and faculty will get to spend some time with their family and recharging. Now, the campus will resume. I mean, classes will start on the 9th, but registration will resume from the 3rd through the 5th of January. But that's pretty much 3 days. And if you are counting on using that last-minute window there to register, just know there's going to be probably a lot of other people. They're going to be making that similar decision, and you might be waiting a while for your appointment and to get in. And plus, by that point, everybody that's advanced registered, they're going to occupy a lot of seats, and you're going to be left with what's left. It's sort of like when you go to Mr. Getty's near the end of business, and you're just left with a few pieces of pizza that maybe are not the ones you want, but you don't want to throw your money away, so you're just going to pile on that veggie pizza, even though you really had your heart set on that chicken bacon ranch.
Yeah, good analogy. I want to get back to a couple things that you all have planned, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, but we're at the end of we're nearing the end of a semester, and you have had a whole group of students that you've been able to observe. And my guess is you don't travel at least 6 hours a week to campus because you just love to drive. And I would imagine you're not a professor because you're getting wealthy from it. My guess is there's some other byproducts of your profession that you love and enjoy. I would never ask you to name names of anyone, but has there been any experience this September or this semester through the month of September and October and November? Has there been anything that's warmed your heart from an educational standpoint, or anyone that surprised you that is worthy of commenting on?
Yes, absolutely. One of the reasons why I do this, and I'll try to give you the short version. Years ago, I worked in a corporate position as a web designer, and this was in '99. The .com boom was well underway, and then we had the recession, the .com bust. And I found myself unemployed without a degree, and I went to a community college myself. And of all the degrees that I have, the associate's degree that I have is the most important one to me. It is the one that sort of was the era of my life where I got to figure out who I was, redefine myself, and sort of adjust my trajectory. And my teachers that I had, Brett Ralph, who was my English teacher, Dr. Carter is my public speaking teacher, Sandy Kavanaugh, who I just saw at the Y the other day. Those people made such an impact on me, and I thought if I could do something like that with my life to invest in the lives of others, then that would be time well spent. And so now I get to do that. And so that drive, the time I spend teaching is time I get to invest in these students. And you're absolutely right. I mean, I have a student who, in spite of her age, she finds herself as the primary caregiver over her own sister, and yet is working a full-time job and is a college student, and has this passion for artwork. And so you hear these students' stories, and you realize that it's more than just a number, it's more than just a paycheck, it's more than just a letter grade. These are people who have these life experiences and these stories, and for a brief window, for 8 weeks or 16 weeks out of a semester, I have the privilege of playing a role in the chapter of that story. So I've got another student who is an autistic student. I won't mention his name, but the adversity that he has to overcome to come to class, and to he has to work quite a bit harder than a lot of the other students. But he's going to be graduating this spring, and it's just going to be awesome. And I will be there cheering the loudest for him as he goes across that stage. There's so many people who, all they need to be successful is to get out of their own way and have somebody in their corner that is rooting for them. And if I can be that person in a corner, then I am happy to do it.
I love that you used the word adversity, because that was going to be in my very next comment, because it is not that we would ever undervalue the experience or the trajectory of your 18-year-old who just graduated from high school, and then they take the next natural step, and et cetera. They have adversity as well. But I would imagine the most heartwarming or the most remarkable ones are the people who have had to persevere and power through some exceptional challenges or adversities that it's just a testament to how bad they want something more, or they want something different, that they power through and make those strides and those achievements. It has to be quite a reward for you.
Absolutely. I had a student just this last 8 weeks who had a baby, so new father, working a job, and aspires to become a teacher. And, it was like, okay, it's really tough, and we're facing some hard times right now. And, we at ECTC have partnered with the Family Scholar House, which provides tutoring support and other support for other needs for students. So if you're like, I am thinking about college, but my life right now is just too the ship is sinking, and I don't know how I could handle this and handle college, then, there are opportunities through the college for support to help you be successful. I mean, that's sort of the business that we're in, is helping people succeed and being their best selves and having the best future that they could have.
I was glancing over some of the upcoming events for next year. I know that the Multicultural Festival obviously is Monday and Tuesday, and then into the holiday that we all love, or we all should love, Thanksgiving. But after the semester break, often further in the distance, there's a spring festival. The Chinese New Year, you all celebrate Chinese New Year. That's further into the semester. You got some exciting plans. But I did see a footnote where you're participating in Christmas in the Park. Did they allow you to participate in such planning, or do they leave that to the experts?
So with our FYE class, and this sounds like a tangent, but I promise I'm getting to what you asked. FYE stands for First Year Experience. It's a class that students take where they get to learn all sorts of things, like some basic civics, financial management, time management, study skills. It's a class that's just really well-rounded. And one of the things you have to do in that class is enrichment. You have to do an enrichment, and the focus of enrichment is to do something that either causes you to become better aware of the college services that we offer, and some of the extracurricular things like art shows and Chinese New Year, being a participant in that, and then also community involvement, like the Light Up the City Park. So our FYE students are going to be participating in that and helping to install some of the displays there.
That's
and so
wonderful.
that's a pretty awesome opportunity to reconnect people with, the college is a part of the community is part of the college, and to keep that kind of going there. And you mentioned Chinese New Year, and something I want to hit on is, although, I mentioned in the Multicultural Fair, I'm going to be doing a karate demonstration and representing, to a degree, Japan, even though you can look at me and tell that I'm clearly not Japanese.
You do not appear to be of Japanese heritage, but I've been wrong before.
I am not. I know a little karate, and I like manga and anime, and that's about it. But when it comes to Chinese New Year, our math professor, Professor Mickey Wright, she is from China. She came here, I want to say, and oh man, I'm on the fly trying to remember specific dates, but she's been here about a decade, I think, and has a passion for teaching, a passion for education, a passion for our students, and she is from this very culture, and so she can represent the best of both worlds. So if you get a chance when we celebrate Chinese New Year, and I'm sure I'll be back on in the spring and January to talk more about it as we iron out this date, but you will get a legit, sincere cultural experience when you come and participate in that with us.
Sounds neat. Hey, it's a blessing to have you and the rest of the gang at ECTC Litchfield in our community. We thank you for the lives that you're shaping, helping improve lives. We thank you so much, and we'll see you again real soon, okay?
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. That's Barry Williams from ECTC Litchfield campus. Got to get to a break. We'll come back more on the way here on In the Know.
You may have been born to be wild, but you weren't born to be dead from a needless motorcycle crash. So when you're even just a little impaired, you do not get your motor running. You do not head out on the highway. What you do is get a ride from a sober friend, a taxi or rideshare service, or public transportation. Because Because you may be looking for adventure, but you're not looking for trouble. Please ride sober. Paid with funds through the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety.
Sports is about overcoming obstacles. This is Ernie Johnson Jr., and those are the stories I love to tell in the broadcast booth. But the courage of college athletes is more than matched by another group of young men, the boys fighting Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It's the most prolific genetic killer diagnosed in childhood, and there's no cure. But college football coaches are doing something about it, and you can help. It's called Coach to Cure MD. Text the word CURE to 501501 to donate $25 on your next mobile phone bill, or go online at CoachToCureMD.org. Text the word CURE to 501501 today. Help college football coaches cure MD. You'll be proud you did.
Brought to you by the American Football Coaches Association.
That's the sound of a crack in the ceiling found at a home inspection. But with a Realtor by your side, a newfound leak might only cause minor worries. With their expertise, a Realtor can suggest a credit at closing and even connect you to a contractor to help you shore up that leak and alleviate your worries. When it comes to cracks in your plans, the expertise of a Realtor can make all the difference. The difference between an agent and a Realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Smart businesses are always looking for ways to improve. Better workdays can start with Cintas. Your dedicated Cintas service reps help make sure you have what you need when you need it. We'll stock your essential cleaning products, deliver hygienically clean workwear, inspect your fire extinguishers, and provide first aid and safety supplies. Cintas is with you every step of the way, so you stay a step ahead. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
K105 Weather is brought to you by Future Designs Building Materials on Quarry Road in Litchfield.
Twin Lakes weather!
We'll see a mix of sun and clouds for today. Some of you further to the north dealing with more clouds than sun, with highs today in the 30s. Now we'll keep an eye on some isolated snow showers and flurries moving in for your Friday morning. Some minor accumulations are possible then. From the Wave News Storm Tracking Team, I'm meteorologist Tawana Andrew.
I'm a love man. Call me the love man. Ooh, baby, I'm a love man.
Did you know? We had an English professor that just left. I should have mentioned this to see if Barry knew this. People who feel an urge to correct other people's grammar are actually suffering from a form of OCD known as grammar pedantry syndrome or pedantry syndrome, however you would pronounce
probably
that.
Suffer a little bit from that.
Grammar pedantry or pedantry syndrome. You think that's it?
There are a few. There are a few like trigger ones that get to me.
Oh yeah, I think. Right.
There's like a few that if you say, it's like, oof, it's like nails on the chalkboard.
Well, it also brings up for me, obviously when I spot it, I notice it. Sometimes I say something, sometimes I don't.
It depends on who it is too. That you say
well,
something.
I can't, and I decided long ago, I was like, I can't fix everybody, and so and unfortunately, I almost then say, well, I'm not going to try and fix anyone. But we do have, and here's what I've noticed, and this is hard for me as a parent of a younger child, is trying to know, like, she sometimes struggles with verb conjugation, but she's in the first grade. And so I try and find the balance between what as a parent I'm supposed to point out, like, and how often.
She shouldn't be able to pass Barry's English 102 class that he's teaching this afternoon.
I think she could almost do it, but I mean, I just.
But still, yeah, I think.
But you see what I'm saying is, like a parent, you want to be supportive and encouraging. You want to let them find it on their own, but then you also don't want to be standing over here sitting on your hands going, "Wait, dude, that was your job." You know, it's like it was your job that you were supposed to at least point that out. So last night we had a very good. They have a thing in their classroom, which I love, temperature threshold. Like, she came home as a first grader and was talking about temperature threshold. And I thought, well, hello. Like, I love like multi-syllabic words, but Last night I said it, and then she tried to correct me, and she said it's not hold, it's hole. Okay, so in her mind, she had heard it as temperature threshold. All right, so I obviously know it has a D on it, but rather than arguing and digging in and saying, no, I know it holds a D, I said, I think I saw it in the dictionary one time, and it seems like it had a D on it, but I don't remember for sure, and I went on. So I think I handled that correctly.
Yes,
Yes?
I think so.
Okay.
I try really hard. I don't want to overdo it with her, and I have a tendency to sometimes.
But it just
I feel
goes
like-
back
yeah, it
to
feels like too
then
much.
when you hear an error and you see a blatant error, like aren't you supposed to let's be better, let's do it better, I don't know.
Yeah,
That's hard.
it's the one that'll always get me is seen. Yeah, like I seen them coming down the road. It's like, and that one's like nails on the chalkboard to me. It's like you saw them coming down the road.
24 hours later. So anyway, some of us have at least mild OCD when it comes to. Some of us have it more than others, and some of you know who you are. Some of you I had as a teacher. Jay Leno is in good condition. Will undergo a second surgery to treat burns. So another day, another Jay Leno update. And again, if you missed yesterday's show, he said thanks to his friend Dave, who was there, he would have lost his life without Dave. You know, he's got that. I've never seen it, but Jay Leno's Garage. He got a TV show. That
I don't know that my dad watches it often, but my dad loves those kind of shows, and I know he would at least. I have been in the room when he has watched it before.
Does your dad watch Top Gear? Isn't that like a British?
Yeah, I don't know that he watches
show?
that one. No. I know he loves the auto auctions and all of those, and.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Sam. Now I'm all curious. Was it your dad who put the fire out on Jay?
Yeah,
he said
Dave.
thanks to his friend
Yeah,
Dave.
Dave. Yeah, no, I don't know.
And we know it wasn't David Letterman.
Well, I mean,
could have been
Grammar Hammer. I love it.
Leanne had some of the same grammar hammers that I had, so she knows who I'm talking about. So from Jay Leno to one of Jay Leno's successors, Jimmy Fallon, has it. Twitter's been really fun the last couple of weeks, and it's been.
Is that the word? Is that the word we're using?
For
to
me,
describe
it's been fun because there's just been like something every day going. Well, look at this trying to sort itself out. Of course, no one's impersonating me. So
yet.
Yeah, that's right. It's so far so good. Nobody's impersonating me.
I'm gonna create the burner this afternoon.
The hashtag RIP Jimmy Fallon has been going around the last 24 hours because the inmates are currently running the asylum until the warden can regain control of the prison. That's exactly what is happening. But I still like if you can build Tesla and SpaceX, I kind of like your odds on being able to finally get Twitter locked down. It seems like sport for Elon Musk, and he seems to be having a good time with it. You spend $44 billion on something, you better be willing to work on it and have fun.
A month ago, Twitter was great. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have changed anything about it. And now I don't know.
I did like it because Jimmy Fallon said, Elon, can you fix this? The hashtag RIP Jimmy Fallon. And Musk just replied and said, fix what? I thought, okay. Well, I mean, he's at least maintaining a sense of humor about it. Seems to be. But today's the day his employees get to figure out whether they're in it for the long haul or they want to take their 3-month severance. And
if they're hardcore enough, right?
Go find. Yeah, that's exactly what he said. And he's apparently burning the midnight oil as well. Paulina Poroskova, who was the subject of desire of many of my contemporaries, is joking at age. She's a swimsuit model from the 80s.
Okay. I was going to say, I when I saw this name, I had no idea who she was.
Yeah, she was a very successful model.
She was your age Kate Upton.
One of the Kate Uptons. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was in Sports Illustrated several times, etc. But she's 57 now. By the way, looks great for 57. And she said that the dating pool is more like a dirty little puddle at age 57. She said it stinks. Yeah, well, it's harder the pool gets smaller and the pool gets more shallow, without a doubt. Millie Bobby Brown says she no longer believes the earth is flat. I'm dying to know when the moment was. you get the flat earthers who then finally decide, I've been looking at it all wrong. I've been trying to figure out what do you think the moment was where Millie Bobby Brown goes, it's round.
Maybe she went to the planetarium.
Maybe it would certainly. it would certainly.
I don't
help.
think that would. I mean, there's a certain NBA player that's been in the news a lot recently that also thinks the world is flat.
Yeah. I think sometimes people do that just to be antagonists about it.
It's like the people that believe birds aren't real.
Sure, absolutely. Oh, that reminds me.
Did you not know that that's a conspiracy?
That reminds me of another really good point to ponder.
What do they think that they are?
Google it. Give it if you have 5 minutes later, give it a Google. It's worth it.
And then the new trailer for Will Smith's first post-slap movie is out. It was already in the can when all this happened, but it is coming out, and so it's called Emancipation, which is additionally a challenge. It'll be out on Apple on December 9th. It'll be on Apple TV Plus on December 9th. But my question is this. Would they have been able to bring out the next Will Smith movie if it had been a reboot of Hitch or it had been something funny? Could they have brought that out in the summer and everybody went, oh, ha ha, yeah, that's the guy that slapped Chris Rock? If you're bringing out something about emancipation of a people, and right, it needs the proper amount of separation from a guy that goes up on stage and slaps another person.
We gonna see like a duo cop comedy with Chris Rock and Will Smith?
I mean, that's the movie they should have put out first. Bad Boys 7, starring Will Smith and Chris Rock in this one, because Martin Lawrence was sick that day. Got to get to a break. We'll come back. Finish it up for the morning. You're on In the Know.
Marriage is everywhere at risk because of one of the most powerful drugs known to man. It's called infatuation. Hi, this is Jim Daly with Focus on the Family. Maybe you don't think of infatuation as a drug, but Dave Carter has spent the past 30 years studying the causes of infidelity. He says infatuation is as powerful as any substance out there. Do you think that's overstated? Well, if you've ever known someone who walked away from their family for an affair, you probably asked yourself, what were they thinking? And that's the point. They weren't thinking. People consumed by infatuation do crazy things. They behave as if they're literally under the influence of a mind-altering substance. And to Dave Carter's point, they are. Infatuated people are drunk with emotion. They don't make rational decisions or care how their choices impact everyone else. Infatuation is especially dangerous because it can develop before anyone realizes it's happening. Associating with coworkers, neighbors, and family friends is appropriate in the typical sense, but when two people who aren't married to each other together day after day, infatuation is a real possibility. And that's why, to protect yourself, you have to stay on your toes. Tomorrow, I'll share some things to look for that many people miss until it's too late. In the meantime, help your marriage thrive by visiting FocusOnTheFamily.com. I'm Jim Daly.
Hello?
Hey, stranger.
Oh, hi. Thank goodness it's you. I was afraid to answer the phone.
Why? What's up?
The credit card companies are after me. They want me to make payments and the calls never stop.
Ouch. Been there before, but I got help from Trinity Debt Management.
Trinity?
Yeah, I called and right away Trinity contacted my creditors and got my interest rates cut in half. They ended all the late fees and over-limit charges, and they stopped those annoying phone calls.
Bet that was a relief.
Yep. Then they put me on a plan that consolidated my bills into one easy monthly payment. That way, I paid off my debt fast while saving thousands.
Nice.
Trinity even showed me how to plan and meet a monthly budget. So now I'm debt-free for keeps.
Wow. Do you still have their number?
Sure. Here, write this down and call 1-800-990-6976.
Can you repeat that?
1-800-990-6976. That's 1-800-990-6976.
Hi, I'm Janine Lucas with Wilson Muir Bank. Our focus is on building communities, and in many of our markets, agriculture is at heart of those communities. We are proud to partner with local farmers and value your role in Kentucky and globally. Our commitment runs deep because we understand your passion for farming. Many of us are farmers farmers ourselves. Whether farming is your pastime or your livelihood, invite us to your operation or stop by our offices and let us know how Wilson Bank can help you grow. Together we build community. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 403246.
When I was a little girl.
MB's Point to Ponder for today. I'm going to scrap the one I had because something was mentioned in the last segment now I need to know about. On rainy days, all the birds hide on rainy days, right? But where do they hide? Shouldn't we see them? Aren't there enough birds that when it rains, we should see, say, oh, there's a bird hiding from the rain?
Well, if you ask people the conspiracy that we're talking about, it's probably when they go back to recharge.
But, I mean, there are enough birds in the world that when they all land or seek sanctuary on a rainy day, because birds don't fly on rainy days, shouldn't we see them? Like, shouldn't they just be, like, nestled over there in the landscaping going, I'm hiding out from the rain?
Well, they're hanging out in the trees, aren't they?
Well, but, like, right now, well, there aren't any leaves on the trees. Where are they going to hide?
Well, that's because they're down south now, aren't they?
No, I saw birds day before yesterday.
Well, day before yesterday, it was 85 degrees almost.
What was that last thing that Leanne said, by the way? I was that's really getting I wanted to insure. Sure. Yeah, teaching is a lifetime profession as well. Some of them won't give it up. Once a teacher, always a teacher.
Goodness.
Some people think that once they have the authority to mark up your paper, they can mark up your paper your entire life. And I'm not necessarily disagreeing. I'm just saying it just doesn't feel good when it happens. On CBS tonight, Pickled. 16 celebs compete in a pickleball tournament to benefit Comic Relief US with a coveted totem of excellence, the Colbert Cup. So it's hosted by Stephen Colbert. I'm telling you.
Is Matt Jones playing?
I think he is not. But if we had a pickleball court, I would be very tempted not to pick it up. Like, I was, right before the pandemic and stuff, I was really determined to get into tennis again, and the court's so big. But I'm thinking, although I do see some of those news stories where pickleball has taken off in these communities, and the sound that it makes, because you got 4 people basically playing glorified ping pong, and it makes this sound every time it hits. And when you got 12 courts playing at once and you're trying to live next door to the park, it is annoying. So I think they need to do something to change the sound of the pickle.
We played it in high school.
Okay, Leanne owes us $1.
Maybe I have to put one in for put it on the screen.
Maybe. You're an enabler, Sam. Law and Order, and then Heck's Kitchen is on Fox tonight. Oh, heck.
Go Gordon Ramsay.
Today's highlight in history, the Suez Canal opened in Egypt. In 1800, Congress held its first session in the partially completed U.S. Capitol building. Sam, you should ask Leanne sometime if she remembers me reading the Canterbury Tales in class. Everything she knows about Chaucer came from me. In 1989, the Walt Disney animated feature The Little Mermaid opened in wide release. Well, I got big
what
Little
year
Mermaid.
was that?
1989. A number. The sound of the funky drummer. In 2003, Arnold Schwarzenegger was sworn in as the 38th governor of California. You know what they all did first thing?
The governor?
They got to the chopper.
Oh.
Get to the chopper. Gordon Lightfoot is 84 today. Bob Gaudio from The Four Seasons is 81. Martin Scorsese is 80. Danny DeVito is 78. Speaking of Schwarzenegger, he was in Twins. Hit him, hit him, hit him. Lorne Michaels is 78 today. John Boehner is 73. RuPaul is 62. Daisy Fuentes is 56. Ronnie DeVoe from New Edition and Belle Biv DeVoe is 55 today. And Rachel McAdams is 44 today.
It's a pretty good birthday list.
Yeah, Claire Cleary is 44
Well, I mean, if you're going on comedy of 2 people born on the same day, DeVito and Michaels, that's a pretty good combo.
I don't know that Lorne Michaels is all that funny, but he's fostered a lot of
yeah,
fun.
but still, he deserves in the...
Sure. Rock Hudson was born in the state in 1925. Rance Howard, which is Ron Howard's dad, was born in the state in 1928. Oh, and Sam, I really don't want to skip terrific Tom Seaver. It was born this day in 1944.
gone, what, about 3 years now? 20?
August 31, 2020.
Okay, I was going to say, I knew it was coming.
Here comes Chart Toppers. Maybe she wasn't in that same class.
The eternal triangle.
If Leanne and I didn't have senior English together, she wouldn't have known my Canterbury Tales.
Beautiful woman.
Prowess.
Condemned man named Tom Dooley.
Number one in 1958.
tomorrow.
Don't say anything
Tom
negative.
Dooley must hang.
What's wrong with Tom Dooley?
There's not a thing about it. I was just saying, sometimes you all scrunch up your nose. Don't scrunch up your nose. Because, listen, if you ever find yourself in Judge Steve Crevice's courtroom, you better profess to be the biggest Kingston Trio fan on second. Claim to be the second biggest Kingston Trio fan. If you claim to be the first, yes. If you claim to be the first, you might draw his ire and he might put you under the jailhouse.
Is that what they listen to in Flaherty?
On his commute to court every day, he listens to Tom Dooley.
It's a little different than what Barry says he listens to. He tries to.
1967, Sam and Dave number one was Soul Man.
This was my freshman year band. This was one of our halftime march.
This is also a great pep band song.
Yeah, well, we use it for marching band, and then we played it in pep band too. Because I mean, with the horns too.
Oh yeah, the horns are great. And then I know we play this song relatively often because I love it. But if you're celebrating a birthday and you have a number one hit on your birthday, I think it's worth being recognized.
The anniversary of this actually, like the record was Friday?
A week ago, yeah. Thursday, November 10, 1975.
Concluding some terms with a couple of
Get your gummy.
When they left fully loaded for Cleveland. Then later that
Oh man, just keep it playing.
Listen, I love it, but I also love this song. Starship, number one, 1985. I love the part at the end where he talks. The city by the bay, the city that rocks, the city that never stops. We built this city. Oh. We're late.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to. I have to.
Yes, we multiply.
1994. Any Camos, right? And here comes the hot stepper. Word 'em up. Word 'em up.
I'm the lyrical gangster.
Word 'em up.
Excuse me.
Oh no, I can't not do this. 03.
Well, I saw your one from last year too. You can't pass up that one either.
Hey, 19 years ago today.
That's crazy.
And then from 1 year ago?
1 year ago today. Adele.
I like the version of this too with Stapleton. It's good.
I've not been to Target, so I'm not allowed to listen.
Well, you can on this website you're on right now. You can just give it a search.
I hope I don't have to sell our Adele tickets.
It's just about 2 months until my mom gets here.
Can I get Adele, not Adele? Can I get Adele and Dave to just wear like a camera in their like button and just record it to where?
That's between you and them.
I was gonna say,
I know my mom said
you
that
may have to.
She did say that no matter how much it is, she's definitely getting an Adele T-shirt.
Oh,
that's
well,
what she said.
Well, get ready because
I know. I was going to say
they charge British pounds for those. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today says our fingerprints never fade from the lives we touch. Our fingerprints never fade from the lives we touch. MB's Pearl of Wisdom for today. Remember, God loves you, and I do too. If you don't know Jesus, let me know, and I'll introduce you. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow for another edition of our show. For Sam Gormley, for Beej, I'm MB, and now you're in the know.
Powering through the Twin Lakes with the best mix of music, news, weather, and fun. If it's in the Twin Lakes, it's on.